The Podcasting Dead is available on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Make sure to subscribe for more podcasts. And while you're at it, drop us a like. If you want to help support the channel and have access to extra content, secret contests, and more, make sure to search for us on Patreon. Patreon.com/thepodcastingdead.
Happy Monday to everybody. I'm Justin.
I'm JP.
And we're the Podcasting Dead. And we're here to talk about Fear the Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 4. That's correct, right?
I think so.
It's two different shows going on at the same time. It's hard to keep up with what, because I think, World Beyond is on Episode 5?
That sounds correct.
Episode 5. 5 episodes of my life I'm never going to get back. But we'll talk about that on our World Beyond review. As for now, we're talking about Fear the Walking Dead, and let me just say, out the gate, reacting 100% off of emotion and not thinking with any kind of rationality. Screw Victor Strand.
Oh, I get where you're coming from, man, but like we were texting last night, I really think he's more or less becoming the Walter White of Fear the Walking Dead.
Oh, I'm with you 100%. I think by the end of the season, I'll see his end game and be like, oh, wow, he really did have I mean, it sucks but about, what happened to her, but his whole mindset is protecting his people. And I think at the end, it's going to play in a way where he'll kill Ginny or whatever, in a way that we're going to be like, oh, man, Victor Strand was the puppet master all along.
Yeah, man. It really reminded me kind of like Walter White, Heisenberg poisoning little Brock just to get in a position to get to Gus Fring.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he definitely seems like a monster right now, that's for sure. But I do think there's a bigger plan.
I do hope so. We've been down this road with Victor Strand before, where it's like you think he's good and he's done something that screws everyone over. Yeah, I mean, I'm really hoping that the end game to this is that no, he has everyone's best interest in mind, and he has to crack a few eggs along the way, but at the end they're going to have a nice fat omelet.
Yeah, and I really feel like he didn't realize that she was going to execute that girl in the way that she did. He probably figured she'd hang her
in the head.
Yeah, something like that.
That was horrible, man.
Golly, yeah,
tied her to a damn tree, gagged her mouth, and played a radio. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Ginny's kind of growing on me. I don't think she's the best villain, but if they keep going the way they're going, she definitely, I don't know. It's growing on me. The whole Ginny plot point, which last season we thought was so stupid we couldn't even hardly focus in on it enough to carry on a conversation about the show. I'm kind of digging it this season.
Yeah, man, I do like Ginny. I like her character and everything, but it's her motivation I don't get, dude.
Right.
Like, I mean, we've both been in management. You keep your employees happy, you generally have a more productive crew. But I mean, what's her whole thing with separating people, separating couples, not wanting people to be together? I mean, what purpose does that even serve?
Well, and we see she brought June, which we're going to get to in a minute, because that's ironic that she brought June to, which I think she does. Like Victor Strand and now John, she's doing kind of the Negan thing of if you do a good job, the rewards are great.
Right.
But as we see, if you cross her, the punishment is harsh, which was kind of Negan's deal. If you keep him happy and you do what he needs you to do, then he's going to reward you and you're going to live like a king. But if you don't do right, you're going to get harsh punishment. And I think that's kind of how Ginny's going. But you're right. You would think in The Walking Dead, that's one thing the Walking Dead universe is kind of missing. And we kind of got it with Alpha, but not really, because they loved her even though she was crappy to them. We need a villain who is bad, but the reason why they have so many followers is to their followers, they treat them great. You know what I mean? Like a villain who is beloved. Like Alpha was beloved by Beta, and that was pretty much it. The rest were just more or less terrified to cross her because she'd take a piano wire or necklace and take your head off. And then same thing with Negan. No one really loved Negan. They were just scared to cross him.
Well, you kind of got that with the governor. I mean, he on the surface, on the surface, he seemed like, an upstanding guy looking out for his people until, he
But I mean, we need a villain who is actually ruled, like his people love him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like some of the governor's people might have taken a bullet for him, but the same way in Negan's, they were scared what would happen if they didn't. We need a villain who, in their eyes, like in their people's eyes, is a great person. You know what I mean? Not like the governor where they're fooling people. Like, I'm talking like just genuinely understands, like, I can breed more loyalty. I don't, my dog doesn't defend me because I starve him, So, but Ginny's growing on me. Like that whole thing is kind of growing because she's showing just how brutal she can be.
Yeah, man. I like her, but it's just so stupid. I mean, the whole catalyst for the ranger getting murdered in the barbed wire fence is because he wants to run away with the laundry girl. That whole situation would have never even come about if she had not had a policy about people not hooking up. I mean, what?
Yeah.
It's like if it was, at least with Negan, he would keep you apart if you wanted to bang your wife or your girlfriend. I mean, Jenny's just doing it.
And it was a choice. Your girlfriend didn't have to, she could choose to be with you on the floor. You just would be miserable. But she could bang Negan and be one of his wives and have a better life.
I mean, you would think with like a ranger, he would get pick of whatever girl he wanted. I mean, it just, the motivation, the catalyst, man, I think is really convoluted and really doesn't make a lick of sense to me. But that being said, what it led to, the John Dory murder mystery, the whole thing, dude, I was so turned on, like him and Strand just going at it. Dude, like, that was awesome.
I still think John Dory would crush Victor Strand in the fist fight.
He gave him a run for his money, though.
That's why I said screw Strand, because when he hit him, I mean, I understand defending yourself, but Strand straight up went after him, too, trying to fight him. And like, dude, screw you, man. I mean, I get maybe down the road we'll understand why you did what you did, but you caused the death of someone he really cared about. You betrayed his trust, and now he's punching you. Defend yourself, but then Strand charged at him, too, and I'm like, dude, I hope he snaps your neck. Yeah, I think John Dory would beat the hell out of Strand if he was completely unleashed. And go into the June thing. So if you're new to our podcast, first off, hello. Thank you for joining us. If you've made it this far, hopefully you're enjoying the conversation. Please consider hitting that subscribe button. Helps us out a ton. Or if nothing else, just a like. But if you are a longtime listener, you know that JP and I really kind of find the Johnny and June relationship to be a bit annoying. And just, like we just say, I'm not interested in it. And you and I were so excited because they were separated.
Right.
And by God, at the end of the episode, who comes knocking on his door? Frickin' June, man. I'm hoping he can stay on. I really want to see a John Dory full force. I mean, if this is Dragon Ball Z, he hasn't even went to Kaioken yet. You know, if you watch Dragon Ball Z, you get that reference. But, I mean, he's just plain old himself. I want to see, because he had that gun, man. He was walking down the street. He was ready to mess something up.
Right.
Like, I was ready for him just to walk in and shoot Ginny. Be like, oh, my God. Oh, this is, But alas,
it's crazy, man. And one more thing in Victor's defense. You know,
I knew you were going to defend him.
Well,
I knew you were. And I understand. I mean, you could be 100% right. At the end, I might say, dude, I love Strand.
And this doesn't have to do strictly with my sexual attraction to Victor Strand.
And keep in mind, JP is a primarily straight male.
Well,
it's Victor, but Victor Strand does something to his sexuality.
He could flip me like a pancake, brother. But not like in his mind. If John Dory and the laundry girl, I'm sorry, I'm fuzzy on the names of the people that just came and went this episode.
Well, we just started getting back interested this season,
right?
Yeah.
But you know, in his mind, John Dory runs off with this girl. You know, give it a day or two, Jenny's gonna drag him back and do the same thing to them that she just did to the lawn. So I mean,
you're exactly
in his
right.
mind, he's saving John Dory's life. He's sacrificing that girl to save John.
I think you're exactly right.
But at the same time, I mean,
that don't mean I have to like him while he does it.
No. Victor Strand has always been the ends justify the means.
You're right. No, and I mean you're exactly right. That's probably his main way of thinking was like if I give John enough time to run off with her, John will probably die too.
Right.
It's gonna suck that she's gonna die. He's gonna hate it, but at least I'm saving a friend versus this girl. So no, you're exactly right. And I think by the end of the season, I'm gonna be like, bravo, Victor Strand. You played the game and you got your people out on top. Because you notice. You know, I don't know if this is directly Strand's, but thanks to Strand not letting him run off and letting all that transpire, now John and June are back together.
Right.
It's almost like he's getting his people back together in a way.
Yeah, and that, again, man, that just makes me all the more wary that they're setting Victor up to be the tragic hero, and he's going to die at the end of the season.
It could be, man. He could die and take Ginny with him or something, you know.
I really feel like that's what's going to play out, and I hate it, man. I don't want to watch the show without Victor Strand.
Well, it is, as much as I'm saying screw Victor Strand right now, I don't mean that in like a I want him gone kind of way. That's good drama.
Yeah,
like
you're
that's
compelled by what's going on.
I like that. That's good writing. I want him to stay in. I want to hate him, which don't get me wrong, I don't hate Strand. I love Strand, but I'm saying in this scenario, of course, especially seeing the brutality of her death, I'm like, screw Strand. But I don't want them to kill him off. I mean, Coleman Domingo is one of the best parts of Fear the Walking Dead. I mean, you lose him, it's like, my God, man, why don't you just chop off any character that's interesting?
Yeah, man, it's good to feel this involved again, right? I mean, last season we were just like, screw this show, you know.
We created the barn of pleasures in our mind to make up for how bored we were with Fear the Walking Dead. Now I'm sitting on my couch like into the show, you know.
Yeah.
I liked it. I'm sure someone, you know, I like that they're giving us little glimpses of Morgan too. Because one thing I don't like is how, you know, it's like last episode was mostly Dwight and Sherry, and then, you know, this week is John. But I do like we are getting glimpses of other people, so at least you're not just like, okay, we got to go 3 weeks without knowing where Morgan is. You know, at least we're. And I mean, those were the two guys that were writing on that subway, right? I mean, on that submarine, right?
Yeah. Oh, dude, that was so badass.
That was awesome. I love. He told that guy, he was like, I don't want to hurt anybody, and he's like, don't worry, you won't. And it's like within 30 seconds, they're both disemboweled.
Oh my God, dude.
That was a badass scene too. Super CGI'd, but it was awesome when Morgan took that axe across that dude's abdomen and his guts just fell out.
Yeah, that was dope. That was great.
I'm telling you, like, I am digging Fear the Walking Dead this season. I've seen in our comments some people aren't, and hey, that's okay. We live in a world where despite what the media wants you to feel, we can disagree on things and still be friends. Maybe this is just some subpar writing, and it's just because I hated the last season or so much that, you know, but I'm enjoying it. Like, I'm invested in the show. Last year, I'd be mostly on YouTube or texting while the episode was going because it couldn't hold my attention. And now I'm not. I'm into the episode. Yeah,
man. I mean, like I said, I think there's some plot points that could definitely be a little better. But all in all, I think there's more good than bad.
And I mean, I loved seeing John Dory going through this. You know, like, I thank God for him. You know, he wrote in his letter to June that, you know, yeah, you're giving up some freedom to live here, but it's almost seeming like it's worth it.
Right.
Which really helped him when Ginny read his letters. Thank God he wasn't like, you know, I'm gonna kill Ginny at some point, because then it would have been bad.
Yeah, it is good to see John Dory doing something interesting, man. Just being a detective. I mean,
oh yeah, you putting that police work to use. No, it was great. I mean, now tell me. Because, you know, I'm not the brightest of people. Give me the significance of the rotten tooth thing. I mean, I like to think, I know there's symbolism in it. I know that. But I like to think, well, you know what, too, in a world where the world's ended, I'm sure a lot of people are going to have messed up teeth because you don't really have dental care or, you know. So I like to think that's just a regular run-of-the-mill something you'd have to deal with. But, I mean, is that, you know, what do you think that represented?
Well, I mean, number one, he's a super badass for pulling his own tooth. And I don't know. I think at the end of the episode, he was just kind of like, you know, screw Ginny and her evil ways. I'm not going to take advantage of her dentist. I'm just going to do this myself. And him yanking out the rotten tooth kind of symbolizes he's going to try to rip out the corruption from the community. And that means
that's what I was.
Ginny. Yeah,
that's what I was hoping. I was hoping it wasn't like he was removing, you know, because it definitely wasn't like he was removing the part of him that cared. No. You know, like, all right, I'm pulling this and this symbolizes I'm just going with Ginny's flow because she, whatever. I'm hoping it's a rotten tooth and he's pulling it out and it's kind of symbolizing like, you know, I'm gonna pull Ginny out. You know what I mean?
Ginny's
like I'm
rotten tooth.
Right. I'm gonna fight the corruption in this town because it's not what I thought it was. And I hate that for him because he was a police officer and he's getting to put his skill to use. And, you know, they've had, you know, so many days without anybody dying. And then, you know, he's basically told stand down. It's like, what in the hell did you put me here for then?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's crazy. John Dory, you'd think he would have known just out the gate, which, I mean, I guess he did, but just like, so I show the one piece of evidence to identify the murder to the laundry lady, and then the thing that's going to, find her guilty, she makes sure she puts in her backpack no matter what.
Right.
You know, that earring. I mean, Ginny, just like I said, man, just not the smartest, plot line in the show. But
yeah, and so all right, so her and him were together, and they were going to run off. He had a dirt bike and some gas and stuff, but essentially Ginny had him killed because he was going to leave, right?
That's what I'm gathering. Because for some reason she doesn't, want people to be together. I don't know.
She don't want you to leave is what it is.
But I mean, he wouldn't have been leaving if he could have been with that girl, which for some reason she was keeping from happening.
Right.
Which again, I'm just like, oh Jesus, what's the point of that?
Yeah, Ginny's
especially
definitely
when you want to grow your population.
She's definitely a control freak.
She's the ultimate cock block. That's what she
really
is.
Well, it's because I don't know unless she ain't getting her no action that I've seen.
Man, maybe Daniel's doing more than cutting her hair. Who knows?
I forgot how to.
Who knows?
It was cool seeing the note he left for Morgan. Seeing them working together, which really speaks a lot on Morgan's character because it's like Daniel doesn't trust even Alicia. And we talked about this on the last podcast, that his motivation's probably not that he doesn't trust Alicia, but there's no way. He probably, number one, does not trust Strand.
No.
And even if he does, he knows that you can't give Strand any information because if he can use it to his advantage, it's going to be used.
Right.
And he probably is one of those things where it's like when you don't tell a friend of a friend something, not that you don't trust them, you just don't want to risk it slipping or it coming out. And I feel like that's the way he is with Alicia, but it's cool to see that he's working with Morgan. Because if they really were going to go the amnesia route with Daniel, I was like, oh my God, all right, this show is just dumb.
He's one of the oldest tropes in all of television.
Yeah, but I'm glad to see that's not it at all. It's just showing further how adaptive Daniel is. What an adaptive guy he is in this new world that he's in.
Yeah.
And it's still interesting when you flip back and forth between The Walking Dead and World Beyond to Fear, like they're still using automobiles.
I know, man. That is weird.
And we're going to get into the World Beyond on that podcast, but man, am I the only one that thinks their weapons are kind of stupid?
Well, I mean, the one girl, I forget her name, Hope, maybe with
Hope, yeah,
basically just like an arrowhead tied to a stick.
That's Hope's sister, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Right, yeah, the other one. I'm just like, Jesus.
Yeah, we're gonna have a review on that, so make sure you check that out. And spoiler alert, it's not going to be a good review, but as far as Fear, man, I'm really enjoying. So where do you see Fear going this season?
Well, I'm really interested to see Strand and Morgan's first encounter. I'm really interested to see, how that all plays out. I don't know, man. I think, I could see, man, if they don't kill Strand off, maybe he kills Ginny and takes over the town, and we'll see how a Strand in charge, handles things.
I don't think he would be that bad if he was in charge, because most of the time when he's manipulating people, it's because he's in a bad spot and he's trying to get himself ahead. You know what I mean? I don't know that we've seen a Victor Strand that is not constrained by higher powers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it will be interesting, man, because like I said, I mean, if he's kind of the Walter White of the show now, eventually he's going to take Gus Fring's place, which would be Virginia, and, so I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, Ginny's growing on me. I completely agree with you. Some of her methods are, but I mean, then again, people are flawed in real life.
Right,
presidents and dictators and leaders, they make stupid mistakes. So, I mean, I'm not completely against a character doing dumb things and going, why? Because hindsight's always 20/20.
Right.
If we could look back on our life and be like, why didn't you do this instead of this? We'd all have the perfect lives. People do things wrong. And that's what adds some realism to the characters.
Yeah.
As long as it is an actual character flaw and not just bad writing.
I wish they'd just kind of like expand and explain on it a little bit. I mean, all we've gotten so far is, no, I'm going to separate you, and that's just how it's going to be. Just cause.
And then once you start doing things I like, I'm going to bring you back together, which
right.
From a strategic point, having them separated is genius for her because, like you said, it puts them at a point where you have no control over what happens to your other people. So you're not there to protect them. They're off on a camp somewhere else, and I mean, all she's got to do is give one radio order, and they're dead. Yeah. So as far as the strategy of keeping that group apart, it makes sense. But now she's bringing June to John,
right?
That's the thing with bad guys, too. Like, clearly, you should be able to tell John Dory is not a happy camper.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know if she thought bringing June, but, like, June was the most leverage you had over him. You could control him by having June somewhere else where he can't keep her safe.
Yeah.
Now you bring her to him where, at least in his mind, he feels like he can protect her a little more. I feel like you lose a little bit of your advantage there.
Yeah, man. And like I said, I get, the whole plan with the central group, but just her own people, like I just don't get why.
If I can't get laid, you ain't getting laid.
Right. And I mean, you would think, because that guy was a ranger, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if you're, if it's police or military, I mean, those guys are like brothers. That's a brotherhood. If your people find out that you're killing off, their brothers in arms, you're going to have a military coup on your hands.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the thing, man. It's like with the governor and with it's like with any, and that's the way it works out in real life. So I know but it's like, I just don't get, especially in a smaller group. It's one thing with a dictator when you got a whole nation and you don't ever know who's on your side, who's loyal and what's not. But it's like with Ginny, man. I mean, all you got to do is get like 5 or 6 people to be like, yo, we taking her out because she's stupid. And then I feel like it's the same thing with the governor. I feel like, the governor in the beginning might not have been as easy just because he had the whole town fooled. But, I mean, towards the end, I feel like Martinez, Merle, and a few others could have been like, we're done with the governor's BS. We're going to take him out and kill him. And, I don't know. But, like, with Ginny, I'm interested to see how it's going to play out. I just wonder how, like, little groups like Ginny and like the saviors and all would deal with finding out about like the Commonwealth of the sea. You know what I mean? Like how they would deal with knowing there's a group out there that could easily stomp your ass and have already achieved the civilization you're looking to achieve.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know about you, but we're getting close to early 2021, which means more Walking Dead, which I'm pretty stoked about. Yeah. They're expanding season 10 for 6 more episodes. Going to be awesome. I'm glad we don't have to wait until next fall or whenever to find out about more about the Commonwealth.
So I wonder when they film those.
I think they're in the process now.
Now?
They showed a clip on AMC's Instagrams where I saw it, and then we had a listener send it to me. But it was where they were doing like a table read. But they were at their houses. They were doing like a Zoom table read. You had King Ezekiel. Was Carrie Payton, however you say his name. He was like kind of the reading the between the lines, like she wants to walk away, but she doesn't. And it was showing them rehearsing the scene where Maggie learns Carol let Negan out.
Okay.
And it looked like a pretty good scene, so I'm excited to see that actually filmed.
Did you catch any of the Talking Dead on AMC Live or whatever it was on?
Yeah, I did. Man, it was late, man. I mean, that's the thing that sucks about. I mean, I almost wish they would move Fear the Walking Dead up to 8 because I mean we got to get up early, and I was late as hell this morning. So as you can tell, I was not adjusting to the time change as it was. But Sunday night staying up till 11:30. I mean, I really don't get to sleep till about 12. And as far as the way my body works, turning around, getting up at 4:30. It doesn't combine very well.
Yeah, I would have watched it if it was actually on AMC. I didn't know you had to go online to watch it.
Yeah, I don't get that either. Now, if I can go back and watch it, I might go back and check it out. But no, this episode of Fear, I enjoyed it. I'm excited to where the season's going to go because I'm going to say, I think that last week's episode was my least favorite. The Dwight Al. I mean, it was cool that he got reunited with Sherry, and it was not a terrible episode by any means, but it just wasn't on par with the other episodes this season, I feel. Again, doing that whole dedicating an entire episode pretty much to like one character, or it just to stop doing that, man. Like they really just learn how to splice in what's happening. But so far, I've very much enjoyed what we've got, and I'm very excited to see where it goes from here. For the first time in like 2 years, I'm excited for Fear the Walking Dead.
Me too.
Of course, we got to rate the episode before we close out. So hands under the table on a scale of 1 to 5. All right. You ready?
Yeah.
Bam. Oh, you did 4. I did 3.5, which 3.5 out of 5 is not bad. You're more than half. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Not really anything negative, to be honest with you. Just about 3.5 to 4.
Yeah. Like I said, the only thing that I thought was stupid was the whole the plot point where Ginny's killing this dude just because he wants to be with his sweetheart. I thought that
I think
was
he
dumb.
killed him because I really think it was more about not letting them leave.
Yeah, but like I said, they wouldn't have wanted to leave probably if they could have just had their relationship out in the open. That's kind of what I got from it.
Yeah, I felt more
points,
like
but
they both just wanted to leave. It wasn't so much that Ginny didn't want them to be a couple as much as Ginny knew that they were going to leave together. So she killed him and then essentially killed her for trying to leave. That's how I took it. But great episode. Again, Victor Strand playing games. Can't wait to see what this... At the moment, I'm like, screw Victor Strand. But by the end of the season, I might be like, damn, Strand, you the man. You know, we'll see. And like JP said, I'm kind of really worried that Strand is going to be the like at the end of the season, he'll die, but it'll all kind of come into, we'll all get we'll realize what he was doing, and he'll die having done something really good for all of his people.
Yep.
But let us know. Do you think Victor Strand's a son of a bitch? Do you think he's a great guy? How do you think John Dory is going to be going forward? Because we even see with June showing up, he was happy to see her, but he's still distraught. Like, he's still not okay. And I'm telling you, that was gnarly. Like, when they had the way they had killed her, I was like, okay, Fear the Walking Dead's doing good. This is terrible. You know what I mean? Like, what a bad way to go.
Yeah.
So let us know your thoughts on the episode. Point out things that we missed. And, of course, we'll be back next Monday to talk about episode 5. But in the meantime, we got to jump off of here so we can jump right back on and talk about the world beyond. The world beyond boring. Anyways, I'm Justin.
I'm JP.
And we're the Podcasting Dead. Check out our Patreon.